Assalamu alaikum, my dear students of class 6. Today we are going to take some measurements. So let's begin. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to learn how to take measurements accurately using appropriate measuring instruments to carry out appropriate calculations. Taking measurements. We use our five senses to make the observations. However, to make the measurements accurate and correct, we use the measuring instruments. So, the measuring instruments are very important to measure accurately and to compare two or more objects, values, and quantities. We know about many measuring instruments like you can see in the figure there is a weighing scale, a measuring scale, an inches tape also, a weighing balance. These are all the measuring instruments. Length. The instrument used to measure length is ruler or a tape measure. It depends on what we are measuring. If we are measuring small a pencil or pen, we use a ruler. But if we are measuring a height of a cupboard, the length of a bed, or the length of a room, we use a tape measure. The units commonly used for measuring length are millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Kilometers are used to measure long distance, for example, from Lahore to Islamabad. Volume. The space occupied by an object is called its volume. The volume of a regular shaped object can be found by using the formula volume is equals to length multiplied by width multiplied by height. You can see the figure of a block. Its height is 5 centimeter, width is 6 centimeter, and length is 10 centimeter. Now quickly find the volume. Yes, its volume is 300 cubic centimeter. We measure and we multiply these three values to get the answer. To measure irregular shaped objects, we use a measuring cylinder. As you can see, the figure, it's a measuring cylinder having a blue colored fluid in it. It measures in ml. Its unit is ml, milliliters. Cubic centimeters, cm3. It's the 3 is the power here, power. It's the unit of volume. The other units used are milliliters, centiliters, and liters. These are used to measure liquids. Mass. The amount of matter in something is called its mass. We use a balance or a weighing scale to measure the mass. And we measure mass in the units called grams or kilograms. Here the carrots are measuring 1 kilogram. For measuring very small minute things like powder or such materials which have less weight, we use grams. Temperature. How hot or how cold something is, it's called the temperature. And we all know that we measure it using a thermometer. A thermometer, you can see in the figure, it's a clinical thermometer. The red colored fluid inside this is called mercury. And the units in which we measure the temperature are degrees Celsius, it is also called degree centigrade, Kelvin scale, and Fahrenheit scale. Time, let's measure time. If we are doing a race or playing a game and we want to calculate the minimum time, we use a stopwatch or a stop clock. The units in which we measure time are seconds, minutes, and hours. Days and weeks are also the units which we can use, not commonly. The common units is sound, seconds. So let's wrap up today's measurements. Length. For measuring the length, we use a ruler or a tape measure. Volume can be measured by a formula length multiplied by width multiplied by height. This is for regular objects, and for irregular objects, we use a measuring cylinder. The mass can be measured by a weighing scale. Thermometer is used to measure temperature, and a stopwatch calculates the time. Now your task is to do textbook page number 8, questions 1 to 4, and along with it you have to do an activity. You have to measure height of your family members in centimeters and keep a record of it. Make it presentable. You can use the materials and you can draw the diagrams of the materials which you are using for it. And here is a table as a sample. You can draw your own table. Write the name of the person, the age and height in centimeters. Good luck for the activity. Allah Hafiz. See you in the next lesson.